Okay, so this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but the TV series the remake of The Shining is much better than the Stanley Kubrick film. Let me explain. And I mean this from a spiritual standpoint and an accuracy standpoint. I went on Tubi and found the remake of The Shining, the one that they had put on TV. I remember watching it back in the 90s. I was like, shit, let me sit down and watch this shit. I've been in recovery, why not? When in Rome. So first off, the one thing I really loved is that it was very apparent that the parents knew that the kid was gifted, and then that the kid was talking to somebody, which you later find out at the end of the movie is his future self, which is a great astral projection. I mean, it has to go with his gift of the shine. So we'll get to that in a second. And as someone who has a gift, as someone who has the shine, this is where I think they got it right in the movie. So Halloran, which you know from the It series as well, he tries to warn the kid. He could tell the kid has like nuclear status type gifts. So like if anybody could handle the spirits that are at this hotel, it's going to be this kid. And he gives him some good advice and he's like, close your eyes, count to 10. They can't hurt you. What he underestimated, what he did not pick up on, what I don't think anyone fucking picked up on, is that the dad had the fucking gift. See, if you watch Kubrick's film, it's just him being an alcoholic, okay? And while Jack Nicholson did a supreme job with that role, you failed to understand the connection of how the ghost got to him, how the ghost used him. And I tell people all the time, alcohol is like anesthesia for your soul. It puts you out there unprotected, intuition's off. It disconnects mind, body, and soul. So even if you out there dancing, shaking your thing, but you drunk as shit, your body is enjoying it, your mind is numbed out, and your soul ain't connected at all. So it can't even enjoy the experience in a soulful manner. Therefore, it does nothing for your energy. Needless to say, let's come on back to the point. This is a recovering alcoholic who had desensitized himself and shut down his soul, put it in anesthesia, and his gifts, which is why he could recognize them in his son. The mom, not gifted. Not gifted in the sense of the way the child is and the dad is. But she knows that her son can see shit and know shit. Now, what I picked up from the remake is the reason the ghost, the reason the hotel, the reason the Overlook was able to get to the dad is because he had that weakness of alcoholism. He started drinking again. That's when they really tapped in. How they got to him before he started drinking again, though, was through the shine, manipulation. He was not protected. He was not aware. He was not in tune. He was not tapped in to his gifts. But they still exist nonetheless. And at the end of the movie, that's why he's telling his son, like before he blows up the hotel with the boiler, he's like, if they can't use me, they're going to use you. Meaning he knows he has the gift and his son has the same gift, and that's how they were able to get to him. Another thing that the TV series really touched on and did a great job showing was how conflicted the father was with this. It just wasn't automatically just trying to kill the other half. Like, this was something he fought within himself and against the ghost until he finally succumbed to it. And there was still this part of his soul that woke the fuck up at the right time and chose to be a sacrifice at that crossroads instead of follow through. And it really didn't dawn on me, even from Kubrick's film, until understanding it later, that the reason the dad could see the ghost is the same reason that the kid could see the ghost. Doc could see the ghost because he had the shine, he had the gift. So did his father. But they didn't really embellish on that. But they touched on it a lot in the remake. Maybe that's why Halloran thought they would be fine out there stuck for winter. Like, no, here's the part that I got fucked up on, okay? Halloran in this timeline, in this Stephen King timeline, would have already encountered Pennywise. Would have already encountered a lot of different entities that, if you were not someone like Halloran, might not be prepared to fight. And why he thought someone not in touch with their soul line and a little 6-year-old kid were going to be able to handle the statute of that energy. Please feel free, if you're a movie lover, if you're a cinephile, to leave your opinions in the comments, because I would love to hear it. I'm talking from like a spiritual standpoint, rewatching it and going, yeah, the TV series makes way more fucking sense than the movie. Now, there is some stuff from Kubrick that just cannot be redone. That is just one of a kind cult classics, and I'll always appreciate the elevator scene with the blood, and I'll appreciate the labyrinth scenes. I appreciate all of that. But if we're talking about accuracy of how this would go down, of it being interconnected, even to the point of his sacrifice to blow up the hotel. And I like that the TV series went a step further and went all the way to Doc's graduation, and you can see that who he used to talk to, who you think is a ghost, was actually his future self. His dad shows up on the stage. They do their little kissing thing, and you realize, again, with the accuracy, the soul was a good soul. And even on the other side, in the other realm, is a good soul. What happened in the hotel and him trying to kill his wife and son was manipulation of spirits, not being in tune with gift, not having a soul that is able to fight back, from alcohol. I guess the key theme is don't fucking drink. But I do like that even Halloran was a part of that. He came to this kid's graduation, which leads us to the next best movie and book, which is Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to all of this. And I love how they get way more into the shine and the gifts and the explaining of that, and soul suckers and light suckers. Like, Dr. Sleep, that's my motherfucking jam. I love that fucking movie. Like, I love that fucking movie. But I gotta say, when it comes to The Shining, I really prefer the remake of the TV series. I feel like it is way more accurate. It is way more on point with the book. It explains things from a realistic standpoint that I understand things. I mean, not completely. A lot of it's fiction, but the way it lines up with things that I know and watching it play out from an understanding point, it's just a better film. What remake do you think is better?